And you made a statement about there being enough, just getting the right amount of value for anybody you're going to collaborate with. Any experiences around about how you land up in a negotiation on that? Because there might be differing views on both sides of the collaboration about how much value you want to get. Any pearls of wisdom on that one?
Well, if I had all the pearls of wisdom, I'd probably be running the country or something like that. No, it's basically a case of stick at it and work at it. The point being made here is no one person has the answer. No single person has all the cards. And you need that other person. So you have to come to a point via negotiation, via discussion, via reason, via buy-in as to what's valuable. And don't get hung up in cash or numbers about value, because value can be emotional. It can be, something I want to do because I believe in it. It's not necessarily about cash or numbers.
But I was really interested in the slide you had with the governance at the top, about 3 headings, and then the 4 boxes with the barriers, all of which are really recognised. And sort of putting that in the context of community planning, I quite often say we've actually been doing community planning for years at the local level where people collaborate. But now, because it's set down in statute, we start to put in place all these governance arrangements, and it seems to divert attention. And as Alan says, you sort of start to lose the light-footedness that you need at a grassroots level to get people coming together and actually looking at what outcomes needed and working together to achieve it. But what sort of thought do you have on those various barriers? And some of those just seem to be completely inbred into certain types of people, and you think, well, you could work as hard as you like, you can send out as many messages as you like about collaboration, about working together, but there's actually there's a deep-rooted, it's in the DNA, and you just won't manage to shift it. Any sort of tips on how we might start picking away at some of these barriers as we go to help us as senior managers to actually create the environment that people who are at the grassroots and can achieve better outcomes through collaboration can feel that they're free to get on and do that?
Okay, tips. One of the things I've noticed, as I said here, was coming at it from a kind of reason and logic, and you should do it point of view. It's not going to help that person who's got that barrier up, because they're not acting reasonably and logically and sensibly. They're acting from a kind of different point of view. And that takes a lot of work and a lot of conversation with that person to turn that frame around, mind around. Now that comes about in several ways. It can come about through some kind of leadership, coaching, mentoring, that kind of thing. But I think also if you encourage people to work with the early adopters, as we mentioned earlier on, those who are in favour of it, make something work, show it happening, then quite often that's enough for the other people to see there's value in doing it, and maybe that comes up with a change of mind. But just hitting them head on and saying you should change is probably not going to work. You have to kind of come at them kind of sideways with further insights from around the organisation. So pick up some people who are good at it, want to do it, work with them, and then grow it from there. Any other questions? That's 3:02.
I wonder if there's a tension between people and organisations, because what you said did make me think. If you take a group of random people and put them in a room together and give them a group task, we'll naturally collaborate, and everybody, I think, will join in with that. But if groups of organisations, I'm not convinced that they do naturally collaborate. I think they naturally sort of isolate themselves and compete against each other.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the key to it is actually this getting people together, that get a group of people, one from each organisation, and stick them in a room, they probably will collaborate, whereas if you relied on the organisations, they maybe wouldn't.
You have a very good point there. Organisations tend to agree governance and structure and rules, but it's people who collaborate. Okay, shall we finish there? 3:03. Thank you very much.